Good morning, hunters. It's Has here, and today I'm bringing in my hunting horn set for Sunbreak Endgame that I've been working on, and I think I can safely say it's a powerful and good template build. What that means is that this build will be pretty powerful endgame and can be used as an all-rounder build for all elements, as decorations and weapons are easy to swap without messing up any of the skills in it. It's also relatively budget-friendly, as the build was constructed with no talisman in mind, meaning whatever talisman you are using, you will be able to make the base of this set, and with a good charm, it can even be used for decent speedruns. For more specialized builds, consider subscribing, as I will be releasing more hunting horn builds and guides, so stay tuned. I will be showing equipment, decorations, recommended talismans, weapon trees, and finally, as I tend to do, there will be a casual hunt demonstration at the very end of this video. Now let's take a look at the equipment then. The set we use is the Malzeno helm, Archfiend armor, Lunagaran gloves, Archfiend belt, and hidden version of Atsushi legs. The armor pieces were specifically chosen so that even without a talisman, we are able to get all the skills that we need for the core of the build. So attack boost 2, Agitator 4, weakness exploit 3, Firebug Whisperer 3, and chain crit 3. This is without decorations, and we have more than enough jewel slots to build up our preferred final skills without considering the weapon slots even. Before we get to decorations, the explanation for my skill choices is that Hunting Horn benefits the most from flood damage increase, with Sunbreak both raw and elemental, as your sound waves are not affected by affinity, so going further than weakness exploit and critical boost, which we will slot in, wouldn't be worth it as much if you use Shockwave, which you should. It's a good 30% of your damage. Also, Silkbind Shockwave does have a 1.5 elemental modifier on it, which means using elemental hunting horns and even using elemental jewels is going to increase your damage a lot. Now let's see how our decorations look like. For the purposes of this video, I'm using the Malzeno Hunting Horn at the moment, so we're looking at the Dragon Element version of the build. Our final skills are Attack Boost 4, Agitator 5, Dragon Attack 5, Critical Boost 3, Weakness Exploit 3, Firebug Whisperer 3, Chain Crit 3, and the Horn Maestro, and you even have a free slot for Flinch Free. This is still without the talisman, and as you can already suspect, for my setup I recommend and use an attack talisman to max your attack boost, but even without a talisman you have the required attack boost level 4. As mentioned earlier, since affinity is not that worth it for our shockwaves, we use Agitator instead of Critical Eye for flood damage increase, the new Chain Crit, that is an excellent skill for any fast attacking weapon, including the Hunting Horn, and we also slotted in Critical Boost to boost our horn hits, which are still a significant portion of our damage. Finally, we also have enough slots with any of the weapons I will recommend to slot in 5 of your chosen elemental jewels that I found to be the best option to further boost our damage. So how does it look like with talismans? The talisman I originally designed this build for was a somewhat okay no-slot attack boost 3 talisman that bumps our attack to level 7. For alternatives, since we slot in all our critical boosts, a critical boost talisman is also a perfect option. Now for the best talisman for this build that I have is a Slugger 2 attack boost 2 divine talisman with a level 3 slot in it. Slugger is pretty much the one skill I want to squeeze into the build that is not mandatory but really nice to have, even though Hunting Horn already pretty much pummels all monsters into ground. Now, what are the recommended weapons I use with this set? Honestly, there are some really awesome hunting horns in Sunbreak, so there are more than enough options for everyone, and I'm still doing some tests before seeing which ones are the best, but for that I will have a separate video talking about hunting horn trees. The ones I like to use on the other hand are the Malzeno horn for Dragon Element, as this horn honestly is just super comfortable to play with. Both solo and multiplayer, it has a very decent attack with Dragon Element on it, with purple sharpness, and if you tried out the sharpness songs, they just keep your weapon in purple for the whole fight without trouble, and it's so much fun. Plus the earplugs are also really helpful. For ice, I use the Auroracanth Flute. 320 attack and a whopping 68 ice element on it is pretty nuts, with 2 slots as decorations as well. The downside is that this weapon doesn't really have great songs, but makes up for it by being really strong. For fire, I currently prefer the Engineath tree, 330 attack, 30 fire with 15% affinity penalty on it, but it has an attack up song on it with 10% boost, which is pretty insane, making this horn also a great candidate for raw. Our water horn is the Royal Ludroth horn with 320 attack, 50 water, and decent slots. Frankly, I don't think this horn is that amazing, but there aren't really great alternatives when it comes to water, so this one is pretty much the best. And the thunder horn I use is the Keizu horn, which honestly I'm not very fond of looks-wise, but I've heard a few people like it. It has 320 attack, 49 thunder with a level 4 slot with an elemental attack boost to boot. Some of my viewers actually compared this to a Naruto weapon. I don't know because I've never seen the anime, but maybe for fans that is actually a way to enjoy the Keizu horn. As for raw, I haven't dabbled a lot in raw horns yet, so take it with a grain of salt, but currently I'm leaning towards the Engineth horn even for a raw weapon. I will make a separate video with all the hunting horns that I recommend and my thoughts soon, so that will have more information about them, but for now, these are the ones I use. With that said, that is pretty much it for our hunting horn build video, everyone. It's pretty powerful build, honestly, and I've been having so much fun playing with it in master ranks and get some very nice hunt times too without trying too much. Hunting Horn is an absolute blast to play right now, and the whole Shockwave style is incredibly fun for me at least, and I hope they continue in this direction moving on. But let me know what you think about Hunting Horn in Sunbreak. As promised, I also attached a casual non-speedrun hunt demonstration at the end of the video, showcasing this build. It's nothing special, but shows just how fun and powerful it plays, and I definitely didn't have to practice the fight or try too hard for it, so I think it's pretty easy to use as well. But thank you everyone for watching, that is it for this video, hope it helps, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.